Hey guys, if you're shopping for knives and gear, make sure you check out the description of the video you're watching right now for links to some great online retailers. There's also individual links for knives that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today we've got another interesting knife review slash knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Spyderco Tenacious Lightweight. Now I've already reviewed this knife. You can check out my original review in my Spyderco Knives playlist. This is going to be a short and sweet review. In fact, henceforth these types of reviews are going to be known as simple complex reviews. Haha, that's hilarious, right? Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. This knife was sent in to me by Joe. Thanks so much, Joe, for sending this in. It's because of people like Joe that I'm able to bring you guys daily knife content. Let's go ahead and get a measurement on this guy. So the overall length, same as the other one. This is coming in at about 7 3/4 inches overall. Blade length is about 3.5 inches, and cutting edge is also just about 3.5 inches, maybe 3.4. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons up against the Ontario Wrap Model 1. Wrap 1 is coming in at 8.6 inches overall. Spyderco PM2. Spyderco PM2 is coming in at 8.3 inches overall. How about up against the Benchmade Reptilian, or in this case the Ritter Hogue? Ritter Hogue is coming in at 8 inches overall. And last but not least, the Spyderco Para 3. Spyderco Para 3 is coming in at 7 1/4 inches overall. How's the action of this guy? This knife is, for anybody who doesn't know, the Spyderco Tenacious is made in China. Spyderco makes knives in Japan, in China, in Taiwan, and in the United States. Anywhere else, I'm not aware of it. This knife is largely the same as the original Tenacious, and by the way, I will be linking the Spyderco Tenacious Lightweight, as you're seeing here, and then Spyderco Tenacious knives in general, because there's a lot of different versions of them. You guys can check out all the different versions if you want, and then Spyderco knives in general, if you guys want to check those out. But this is largely the same. I used to own this knife. It was my very first Spyderco, and in my opinion, it remains to be the best gateway or introductory Spyderco knife that exists. As far as this price range goes, there's a lot of competition out there, but there's a lot of reasons to get into a Spyderco. This leaf-shaped blade has excellent cutting geometry. The Spyder hole is excellent for manipulation. That remains to be the case on the Tenacious. There's nothing spectacular going on as far as the action goes here. On the inside, take a look. I don't know if you guys can see in there the action, or the pivot setup, which I believe, yeah, you can see the little phosphor bronze washers. I'm unaware if there's actually a little bit of Teflon in there or not. In any case, the action is just fine. It's not going to be quite as good as Civivi, which is a big competitor in this price range. It's not going to be anything that's like drop shut. You know, in fact, it takes quite a bit of effort to get it closed. But in terms of actually manipulating the knife, it's very easy to do. There's plenty of room to engage that liner lock. You can do all your, favorite tricks and stuff, the stuff that people really like to do with Spyderco. So it's just fine. It's nothing spectacular, but it's just fine. The carry profile is about the same, as the G10. It's about the same thickness as the Para 3 in terms of height. It does have that hump to make room for the hole. So up against the PM2 and Para 3, which are a little bit awkward. You can see it's a little bit longer than the Para 3, not quite as long as the PM2. It's going to be about as tall. In terms of weight, so we're looking at FRN on top of steel liners. Inside here you can see there's a little bit of milling. The blade stock thickness is probably going to be about 120 thousandths, which is about what I'd expect. Yeah, 120 thousandths. And the weight on this guy, right, that's the most important parts, or one of the most important parts, considering this is the lightweight version. It does come in a little bit less, at about 3.67 inches overall. In today's knife world, lightweight is generally defined by the Para 3 lightweight or bug out, usually the bug out, right? We're in in my opinion, anything that's like about 4 ounces or less, it becomes trivial as far as convenience of carry that's directly associated with the weight. The profile is much more important to me. This is a big knife. It's a capable knife, right? It's going to be a little bit wide and cumbersome in the pocket in terms of its profile, but it's nice that they've lightened it up without sacrificing any of the structural integrity. Is G10 stronger than FRN? Is FRN stronger than G10? They're probably about the same, right? Any benefits and durability are going to be trivial between the two. That's just my opinion on that, because a lot of the durability comes from basically everything else about the knife, the frame and the lock and all that stuff. I don't like how FRN feels. I've been very vocal about this. That's a personal thing. I like how G10 feels. FRN just feels a little bit cheap to me, but some people are going to appreciate that that weight reduction, because there is a pretty substantial difference between this and the G10 version. I want to say the G10 version comes in somewhere between, I think, 4.5 and 5 ounces, maybe, something like that. So yeah, some people are going to find that really, really nice. Hardware check, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's T8 and then T6 on the body screws. You've got quite a few screws on the Tenacious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 2 more than I normally like. It's not that big of a deal. Pillar construction, just be careful. Spyderco doesn't use the best screws in the entire world, so that coupled with the fact that we're looking at T6 screws means you really have to be paying attention so that you don't strip anything out. The gentleman who sent this to me informed me that this knife came centered, and then when he changed out the pocket clip, which I changed it back for the review, it became off-centered, and no matter what he did, he could not get it back to center. The Tenacious and a lot of other Chinese Spydercos, and frankly a lot of knives that are in this price range, just have centering issues sometimes, right? It's interesting that this one actually came centered. More often than not, I hear that the Tenacious just comes off-centered. It's not rubbing, so I guess it's not that big of a deal, but I'd really like to see this. For what this costs, I'd really like to see them all come centered. It's one of those things that's going to bother some people, might not bother other people. I have a video on how to center your knife. You're certainly welcome to try that trick. It's in my controversy and discussion playlist. Let's go ahead and talk about the anatomy here. It's the same as the other Tenacious. It just has the FRN scales. These do provide plenty of traction. I mean, as far as just a straightforward utility knife goes, utilitarian folding knife goes, this is a really good setup. Like I said, excellent cutting geometry. The thing is going to slice well. The FRN scales are going to add that that lightweight effect to the knife, and some people are going to benefit from that. These are not the texture pattern on here is not going to tear up your pants. It's certainly going to provide grip though, which is something that's nice if you're really going to go out and beat on this thing. This thing is really set up like many Spydercos to just be a straightforward working tool. It's not really meant to be flashy or crazy or anything like that, or exhibit any of the qualities that we look for as knife enthusiasts in today's modern knife world. It's just, here are the scales. They provide traction. They are a good ergonomic shape. Here's the blade. It's not made of anything special. ATR 13 MOV, a lot of people cringe at that or scoff at that, whatever. ATR 13 MOV is okay. It's not the best steel you can get in this price range, but it'll work. It's stainless. It doesn't hold an edge very long. It's fairly easy to sharpen. It's not going to cause you any concern. Really, in this, as far as this blade goes, the blade geometry is going to do much more for you than the blade steel. Would it be better in a better blade steel? Sure, but there are a lot of knives out there that come in this price range that come in good blade steels that have crap blade geometry, and you essentially end up with, it kind of evens itself out, right, as far as that multi-directional teeter-totter goes. So that's why I really don't have a problem with it. Taking a look at the rest of the body, there's no real hot spots or anything like that. Truthfully, this is a very ergonomic design. It's just fine. The pocket clip, you're going to feel that a little bit. This isn't Spyderco's best, well, it is a typical Spyderco pocket clip. It does the job. It's not fantastic, but it's not a bad clip either. It certainly works. This isn't what I'd call deep carry at all. In fact, it's definitely more towards the shallow carry, and they've chose to highlight or emphasize that lanyard hole in the exact same position as the pocket clip. Whatever. This design has been the same for a long time. It'll work. It's not anything that's a deal breaker or anything like that. It's just kind of annoying. Pillar construction and open body should be fairly easy to clean out. There is plenty of room to engage the liner lock and disengage it. I mean, you can do this all day, no problem. Lock on this knife is great. The blade is a satin finished blade, so it's going to show scratches. The edge looks okay. There's a little tiny bit of wonkiness here or there, especially out towards the tip. It's okay. These do get very thin behind the edge, so they're going to be performance-oriented blades. They're going to be great at continuous cutting. This is definitely a knife that I would use for breaking down lots and lots and lots of boxes. Absolutely. Not much to speak of in the way of durability at the tip, though, so don't go out trying to hard-use test this thing and jam it into wood and then pry with it, because you will snap that tip. Because it's satin finished, the hole is a little sharp, but it's not bad. Up here, again, it's a little sharp, but it's not catching my fingernail quite as much as I thought it would, so not really that big of a deal. I can't complain too much, The reason I'm going soft on this guy, I'm sure you guys can tell, is because this is a great introductory level Spyderco. Is it the best knife out there for the money? No, definitely not. But the knife will go in and out of your pocket efficiently. It's made out of good enough materials. It's very easy to manipulate, and it is, the factors here that are, surrounding the idea of utility are done very, very well. This is why this has remained to be a very popular knife. For the enthusiasts and the collectors, is this going to wow you? No. For somebody looking for a good functional tool that they don't have to spend a lot of money on, it just emphasizes all of those, tool qualities. This really is great, especially for people who are trying to get into Spyderco. That's really what I'm trying to emphasize here. Could there be little things that they could change to make this better? Sure. Fit and finish, number one. Fit and finish could definitely be better. It's not the worst thing that I've ever seen, right? M-Tex and Tac Force and stuff. Though that would be an example of something that has crap fit and finish. This doesn't have Civivi level fit and finish for the money, but it's okay, right? Could the blade steel be better? Sure. Could the pocket clip be different? Sure. They changed all those things and they kept the price the same. This would be an absolute home run, and it would remain to be, you know, as evergreen as it currently is. Evergreen meaning it just seems to be, you know, continue to be popular. The knife does lock up solid. There's no blade play up, down, left, or right. And you can see there it's not super duper centered, and the lock bar is worn in just a little bit, about 70%, no big deal. Can I recommend this knife still? Yeah, definitely. Even the FRN version. I don't like FRN, but I can still recommend this. You know, like I said, enthusiasts, collectors, people who are really into the modern knife world, especially new people getting into knives in general. Is this going to wow you versus some of the other things you picked up in the $50 price range? No, definitely not. For people who just don't want to spend a whole lot of money, but just want a straightforward utilitarian cutting tool, you like the idea of a Spyderco, right? You're interested about how easy it is to use that spider hole, right? Which is, by the way, great for people who work with gloves because you can still get your thumb in there. Yeah, this is an excellent choice, and you can pick your flavor. They've got a lot of different colors of G10. They've got a couple of different variants in the lightweight. You can get the coated blade, the non-coated blade, whatever you want. I'm going to link them all down below. This is a very, very recommendable knife, but to certain people. So hope that I made that message clear. I'm going to be putting this on my Spyderco Knives playlist, as well as my most recommended knives playlist, and the cheap knives I like playlist, because this is definitely a good knife. It's still a really great knife. That's going to be pretty much it for today, guys. Wow, I actually did a short review. That's amazing. I can't believe that I actually made that work. Hopefully I got everything in there. Please follow me on Instagram if you're not following me already. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.